Comparison is the thief of assignment, and many people never discover who they are because they are too busy studying who someone else is. You were not created to be a copy. You were born an original. And whenever you compare yourself to another person, you insult the uniqueness of your design. The tragedy of comparison is not just jealousy, it is distraction from destiny. There is something powerful about understanding that you are not an accident. You are not random. You are not a mistake trying to become someone else's success story. You are a deliberate design with a specific purpose, and purpose cannot be compared. A fish and a bird may live in the same world, but they are not built for the same environment. When a fish tries to compete with a bird in the sky, it will feel inferior. When a bird tries to compete with a fish underwater, it will feel incompetent. But place them in their correct environments and both become masters. Many people suffer from insecurity not because they lack ability, but because they are measuring their ability against the wrong standard. Social research continues to show that constant comparison, especially in the age of social media, increases anxiety and depression. Why? Because you are comparing your everyday life to someone else's highlight reel. You see their promotion but not their years of preparation. You see their success but not their sacrifice. You see their applause but not their struggle. There was a young woman who constantly compared her career to her friends. Her friend traveled internationally, earned a high salary, and posted glamorous photos. Meanwhile, she worked quietly as a community health worker. She began to feel small. She began to question her worth. But one day, after helping deliver a baby in a rural clinic with limited resources, the mother looked at her with tears and said, "You saved my child's life." In that moment, she realized something profound. Visibility is not the same as value. Her assignment was not less important. It was simply different. When you compare, you abandon gratitude. And gratitude is the soil where confidence grows. You cannot appreciate your gift while envying another person's platform. Every time you look sideways, you lose sight of forward. Every time you focus on what someone else has, you neglect what you've been given. Consider the seed. Inside a small seed is a complete blueprint for a tree. But if that seed spends its life wishing to be another species, it will never develop into its full potential. It must embrace its identity. It must accept its design. It must grow according to its nature. The same is true for you. Within you is a blueprint. Skills, talents, perspectives, experiences that no one else possesses in the same combination. Comparison also breeds imitation, and imitation without understanding leads to frustration. Many people attempt to copy strategies, lifestyles, and paths that were never meant for them. They see someone succeed in business and think, "I should do that." They see someone gain popularity online and think, "That must be my calling." But success without alignment leads to emptiness. You can achieve what you copied and still feel unfulfilled because it was never your assignment. There is power in knowing your lane. When you understand your lane, you stop competing unnecessarily. You stop explaining yourself to people who do not understand your journey. You stop measuring your progress against someone else's timeline. A tree does not rush because another tree grew faster. It grows at the pace of its design. Some of the most successful individuals in history were misunderstood because they refused to compare themselves to the expectations of their generation. They understood that greatness is not born from imitation, but from authenticity. They protected their focus. They honored their uniqueness. If you want peace, stop comparing. If you want clarity, stop competing where you were never assigned. If you want confidence, start appreciating what you already possess. You were not created to outshine someone else. You were created to shine in your own space. And when you fully embrace your assignment, something remarkable happens. Envy disappears, insecurity fades, and purpose begins to unfold naturally. So the next time you feel the urge to measure yourself against another person, remember this: you cannot win a race you were never meant to run. Your victory is in your obedience to your design. Stay in your lane. Develop your gift. Nurture your calling. Because when you mind your assignment will reward you with fulfillment that comparison can never provide. Distraction is the silent killer of destiny. It does not announce itself with fanfare, yet it robs people of their dreams, their energy, and their time. Many people are not failing because they lack ability. They are failing because they are busy carrying the burdens that were never assigned to them. They are focused on what does not belong to them, while ignoring the responsibilities that were placed directly in their hands. Life gives each of us a unique mission, a calling, and a territory that requires our attention. But too often we invest our emotional energy, our time, and our thoughts into the lives of others, and the result is exhaustion, frustration, and stagnation. When you look around at what others are doing, you open the door to distraction. You begin to measure your worth by someone else's progress, your peace by someone else's opinion, and your success by someone else's achievements. Yet no one else's life will ever walk your path for you. No one else's journey will ever fulfill your purpose. Every moment spent on another person's business is a moment stolen from the development of your own calling. Every opinion you carry that was not meant for you weighs down your spirit, pulls you off course, and delays your breakthrough. Consider the simple truth. It takes the same energy to complain about someone else's choices as it does to build your own future. Yet most people choose to expend their energy outward instead of inward. They monitor, they judge, they react, but they fail to invest in what truly matters: their growth, their dreams, and their assignment. There was a young man who constantly criticized a coworker who was climbing the corporate ladder faster. He analyzed every move, questioned every decision, and wasted hours worrying about his competitor's strategies. But in doing so, he neglected his own responsibilities, and while he was consumed with someone else's career, he fell behind in his own. The moment he redirected his focus to developing his skills, networking, and contributing value in his own capacity, he began to see growth and recognition that he had never imagined. Distraction is not limited to people. It can also be found in circumstances, technology, and unnecessary responsibilities. Research has shown that the average person is interrupted dozens of times a day by notifications, social media, and irrelevant chatter. Each interruption reduces productivity, diminishes mental clarity, and robs us of the opportunity to engage fully with our purpose. The brain requires uninterrupted focus to generate ideas, solve problems, and create innovation. Every time you allow yourself to be pulled into matters that do not concern you, you are delaying your vision, your success, and your fulfillment. Minding your own business does not mean ignoring the world. It does not mean being selfish or indifferent. It means understanding that your primary responsibility is to your calling. It means recognizing that your assignment will never flourish if your attention is divided. It means protecting your energy, your focus, and your peace. When you reclaim your attention and apply it to the work that matters, you become unstoppable. You discover clarity where there was confusion, strength where there was weakness, and opportunity where there was stagnation. There was a woman who wanted to start a business, but she spent years worrying about the opinions of her family, friends, and colleagues. Every conversation about her plans became a debate. Every suggestion became a distraction. She postponed her vision repeatedly until one day she realized that her energy was meant for her assignment, not for everyone else's critique. She began to dedicate time to research, to building her product, and to learning the skills she needed to succeed. Within a year, her business launched successfully, and she discovered the joy, satisfaction, and fulfillment that comes only from walking in your purpose. Distraction steals more than time. It steals confidence. The more you involve yourself in matters that do not belong to you, the more you question your own ability. You begin to doubt your capacity, your vision, and your decisions. But when you focus on your assignment, you cultivate mastery, competence, and authority. The world does not respect someone who is everywhere and nowhere at the same time. The world respects someone who knows their lane, who guards their calling, and who delivers excellence in their sphere. Every time you resist distraction and protect your focus, you are investing in the life you were designed to live. You are planting seeds for your future, creating space for opportunity, and cultivating the conditions for success. You cannot control what others do, but you can control what you do. You cannot change the opinions, actions, or decisions of others, but you can commit fully to your destiny. So, make the choice today to withdraw from unnecessary interference. Decide to channel your energy toward your calling. Protect your focus, safeguard your time, and honor your purpose. Distraction will always be present, but your response defines the trajectory of your life. The moment you fully embrace your assignment, the world will notice. Your clarity will inspire, your progress will motivate, and your fulfillment will become a living testament that those who mind their own business are the ones who achieve greatness. Purpose requires responsibility. Yet too many people live their lives as if someone else is in charge of their destiny. They allow opinions, circumstances, and distractions to dictate their decisions while their potential sits dormant. Every life has a territory, a space, and a calling that demands management. Ignoring this responsibility is like owning a garden and refusing to water it, expecting flowers to bloom on their own. Growth does not happen by accident. Achievement does not arrive by luck. The life you were given requires intentional stewardship, discipline, and focus. Many people complain about the world, blaming others for their setbacks. They look at society and say, the system is against me, or I cannot succeed because opportunities are limited. While it is true that life presents challenges, it is also true that greatness is born from those who take responsibility, not from those who wait for circumstances to align. You cannot control the weather, the economy, or even the opinions of people around you. But you can control your decisions, your attitude, and your effort. When you accept full responsibility for your purpose, you gain authority over your life. You stop being a victim of external factors and become a master of your destiny. Responsibility demands focus. It requires that you stop chasing what does not belong to you and dedicate yourself fully to your assignment. Every time you invest your energy in someone else's business, you subtract from the power you could have used to build your own legacy. There was a young man who spent years criticizing his colleagues, analyzing their success, and debating their strategies. He became exhausted, bitter, and stagnant. Yet one day he realized that his attention had been misallocated. He redirected his energy toward his own work, his own education, and his own ideas. Within a few years, he had launched a business that not only provided financial independence but also positively impacted his community. The lesson is clear. Responsibility begins with focus. Responsibility also demands accountability. You cannot delegate your calling to someone else. No one else can walk in your purpose for you. Every decision, every action, every choice is yours. There is a story of a woman who aspired to start a charitable organization to support underprivileged children. She waited for permission, advice, and validation from everyone around her. Years passed and nothing materialized. When she finally took ownership and acted, she discovered that the resources she needed were already within her reach. People were willing to help, but the first step required her to accept responsibility for initiating the process. Opportunity often waits for the courageous, for those willing to step into their authority and take control. Responsibility is also about integrity. When you manage your life with purpose, you protect your reputation, your relationships, and your influence. People who neglect their calling often find themselves distracted by drama, gossip, and unnecessary conflict. They compromise their time and energy for matters that are not theirs to carry. In contrast, those who accept responsibility focus on what matters, cultivate trust, and build a legacy that endures. Consider the leaders and innovators who have shaped history. Their influence was not accidental. They were disciplined in their priorities, steadfast in their focus, and deliberate in their decisions. Their lives were a testimony to the principle that purpose requires responsibility. Finally, responsibility transforms potential into achievement. Talent alone is not enough. Vision alone is insufficient. Only when combined with responsibility does potential manifest as reality. A person may have brilliant ideas, natural gifts, and extraordinary dreams, but without responsibility, these gifts remain dormant. Responsibility activates effort, channels energy, and ensures consistency. It compels action when motivation wanes. It ensures perseverance when obstacles arise. Responsibility is the bridge between dreams and results. Your life is your territory. Your calling is your assignment. Every day you delay stepping into full responsibility, you forfeit progress. Every moment you neglect your duty, you allow distractions to dominate. But when you embrace your responsibility, you unlock clarity, focus, and power. You begin to make decisions that align with your purpose. You stop giving your attention to what does not belong to you and start investing fully in what matters. You were created for significance. You were designed with a purpose that no one else can fulfill. Your life, your calling, your territory, it is yours to manage. Do not wait for permission, validation, or opportunity to arrive. Take responsibility, guard your focus, cultivate your assignment. Because the world does not reward spectators. It rewards those who step into their authority, embrace their responsibility, and faithfully manage the life that was entrusted to them. When you accept responsibility, your life begins to transform. Your energy aligns with your purpose, your vision becomes clear, and your potential manifests into tangible results. You become the person you were created to be, and your life becomes a testimony that responsibility is the foundation upon which greatness is built. Your calling requires you. The world is waiting. Step up, take charge, and manage your destiny with the diligence and focus it deserves.